Okay, so we are here today with Kadin. He was featured in our August Autism Digest, and we got him back with us. We're so lucky to help show us an apps for autism. And this time we are going to be talking about InnerVoice, a specific feature of InnerVoice called the chatbot. And our good friend Kadin is going to show us kind of how that works, how you can use it to practice job interviews, practice conversations, practice talking to your friends, your boss, your teacher, or anyone that gives you maybe a little anxiety. You can practice right here. So first of all, welcome, Kadin. We're so happy you joined us today and are helping demonstrate this chatbot.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, thanks for showing up too. And I apologize if there's any background noise. There's someone mowing the lawn right when we started our interview. So, sorry.
It wouldn't be a real interview if something didn't go wrong. So first of all, Kadin, tell us a little bit about you have a really interesting kind of a tech background yourself. You were in a contest, and what did you do? That's how I think we first met, as you wrote and you told me about this contest and who you were. And I'm like, oh, wow, this guy's really interesting. So can you tell everyone a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was freshman year of college. I entered the Idea Labs competition that was held throughout Ohio. I made it all the way to the final competition in Akron, and my idea was an AI chatbot. Well, more of a robot, actually, a physical robot that can teach you how to make friends and help people with autism connect and practice social skills, which are even more complicated in today's society.
Yeah, and I read that and I'm like, oh my gosh, Matthew and I just got done creating, it's not a physical robot, but it's on an app. And we just got done creating this, or upgrading our chatbot with all the latest, greatest technology. And I'm like, I got to contact Kadin and see, what he thinks of it and how we can change it, and give a little demonstration of what that looks like. So thank you, Kadin. First of all, why don't you hold up your avatar and show us what he looks like? Kadin chose the robot, and you can see the cool thing about the InnerVoice chatbot is it actually gives you something or someone to talk to, and you can modify it. There, it gives you 4 or 5 embedded avatars, but you can put in any avatar you want, and it'll animate it, and the face will talk to you. So, Kadin, give us a small example of what that's like. What have you been chatting with the robot about?
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's say if I want to ask it to tell me how I would talk to my professor about my grade, just for an example.
Certainly. Here's a way you might approach your professor about your grade. Hello, Professor. Name, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to discuss my recent grade on specific assignment test. I have reviewed my work and I would appreciate any feedback you could provide to help me understand where I went wrong and how I can improve. Could we schedule a time to go over it together?
That was my stepmom, but it's all right. Well, all right, that would be an example, because one of the things that you have to do in college is contact your professor. So that would be a picture-perfect way to contact your professor about, say, an assignment grade or a test grade.
I love it.
Yeah, that was an excellent question, and yeah, your critique of that response from the avatar was very good. So, I know in college I never approached my professors. I had way too much anxiety. Something like that may have helped me at least break the ice. Try a job interview question, Kadin.
Yeah, sir. Thing. So I want to ask it, how would you respond in a job interview or a PR position if they ask you, tell me about your background?
In response to tell me about your background for a PR position, you could say, I have a degree in communications and 3 years of experience in public relations. During my time at previous company, I managed media relations, crafted press releases, and developed successful PR campaigns that improved brand visibility by 25%. My strong writing skills, ability to build relationships, and strategic thinking make me confident in my ability to contribute effectively to your PR team.
How about a follow-up question, Kadin?
Yeah, sir. Bing. What would a good follow-up question in that interview be?
A good follow-up question in that interview could be, can you tell me more about the key priority goals and challenges your team is currently facing, and how someone in this role could contribute to addressing them?
That's
Excellent.
great. I'm curious, how and what ways do you feel that that could help? And and having the opportunity to practice um, almost in a real time conversation. In fact, you can also use the microphone too to speak or type because you could do either. But how would that help prepare you?
Particularly with the job interview questions, it would help you feel more confident going into the job interview. With college stuff, same thing. It would make you feel more confident about approaching your professor about a certain grade or test or whatever you might want to answer it. And in the sense of social stuff, also the same thing. It would help you feel more confident in those social interactions.
It's all
Yeah,
about
that's
practice.
right. That's what I was going to say too. Is that practicing is for anything. I mean, if you're going to perform in a musical performance, or if you're going to do public speaking, or even unfamiliar social settings, practice is one of the best ways to kind of help get past those uneasy feelings about being in unfamiliar social settings for many people. So I'm glad to hear that you found some different uses for it. What about? I'm curious. Does it matter what the avatar looks like to you, or does it just kind of just having a face there to talk to is a good way to practice?
I would say having a face to talk to is a good way to practice on its own.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I noticed you were typing, and you're a great typer. Were you also using word prediction?
Mm, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like Matthew said, you can also hit the microphone and speak into it, and it's almost like a real conversation. You just hit the microphone, say what your question is or your answer is, and then it processes it and speaks it back. So it makes it almost, yeah, like a real conversation. You're talking to somebody. Have you tried that yet before, Kaden?
Yeah, I tried it right before we
Yes.
went live.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good.
Well,
So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you go.
I had a question. So, what in terms of if you were to recommend this to a variety of people, particularly autistic people, what would be your advice to them about using something like this, or why would you recommend it or not recommend it?
I would highly recommend it to those with autism because one, it helps with your social skills, and two, it's not like any other AI chatbot that I've seen. You actually have a face to talk to.
Okay, yeah, that was to Matthew and I, one of the most important things is not just to make it, I call it a disembodied voice, is to actually have context for who you're talking to, where those words are, and to really practice looking at a face rather than, we totally understand it's difficult sometimes looking at human faces, even for everyone. It's just difficult looking at faces. But if you can practice it, it gets much easier. So that was the whole point of making sure there's a face there. So I'm glad that you saw that value. That's really cool.
Well, I had another question about a feature that we that we recently upgraded, and that's the ability to take pictures and then upload that to the chatbot and talk about those pictures. And one of the reasons that we put that in is to just kind of work on talking about things in your surroundings or just small talk. And so, for example, taking a picture of something that's in the room, and then you can talk about it. What are your feelings about practicing small talk and for social skills? And do you think that helps?
Important.
Do you have something maybe outside your window or in your room that you could take a picture of and show us how that works? Use the camera?
I'll take a picture of this.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Use photo. Then
it looks like you have a power adapter with various cables connected. If you need help organizing or troubleshooting it, let me know.
That was interesting. I didn't know it'd say that. It used to have a very hard time with those kind of pictures. In fact, I was wondering, how's it going to do when you took that picture? Because it's it's a bunch of lines and chords and stuff. But really, at this point, it identifies almost 100% of the pictures, and then it can give you something to talk about, or I don't know what to do with this, or is this the right power cord? I mean, so you can actually also use InnerVoice to help you with stuff. In fact, I practiced this on myself, and then we included this in the app. Airports can be a little overwhelming, and so I started taking pictures of the flights or what wing I was in, and then it would tell me, oh, your flight's over here, or keep walking. So you can actually take pictures in InnerVoice, and it will process those pictures. And if you say, hey, I'm trying to find a place, here's where I am now, maybe in an airport, it'll use those pictures to help talk you through something, or it can just have you, practice small talk or starting conversations about things that are in the room.
Well, I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear some feedback on that, because we really feel, and we've talked before, but we're both speech language pathologists. And the thing about any communication, you have to practice it, whether you're speaking French, you're speaking English, you're speaking Mandarin Chinese, you have to practice it. And then you have to practice it in a lot of different ways. And conversation is the hardest form of communication. So it requires a lot of practice.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth, and if you have, again, something to practice where there's really no stress, it's going to help in your daily life. So if you can really just practice talking to your teacher or practice talking to your boss, then when you get there, it's like, oh, this is nothing. I've done this 100 times before. I know exactly what to say. It's very helpful.
It absolutely is.
Okay. So Kadin, I definitely want to thank you for your time and your time of going through InnerVoice and reviewing it and asking it the questions. And we want to thank you very much. And we're hope to have you review some other apps and technology. I think it's awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for helping to give us feedback on it too, because it helps us make better things. I mean, if we're making products for customers, we want to make sure that it's stuff that the customers can use. So it's really helpful, all the feedback you've given. So very much appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Thank you.
And